We'll do a bunch of stuff. I love that tune.
Good evening and welcome to Field Talk. I am the Field, also known as Field of Bears, here to remind you that socialism always ends in starvation and genocide. Oh boy, guys. Oh boy. I was just a bit slow, so please let me go ahead and really quickly ask my friend, who is not me, to go ahead and tweet out that I'm live again. And while I do that, there we go. And that is done. Oh goodness golly. Gosh, guys. Oh boy. Has it ever been just one heck of a 4 days? So before I get started, I would like to say hello to Big Riggin Bear, hello to Robot Bear, hello to Sergeant Peterson, hello to Yukon Bear, hello to Bobby Gary. Who have I missed? Big Riggin. I got Sarge. Hello to Andrew Bergen. Hello to I know I've got Honky Bear. And hello to Andrew Kelly and Cowboy Bear. Hello to all of you. That's right, Yukon Bear. I have a pot of tea every single night and sometimes throughout the day because I do plan to enjoy tea. Tonight it is green tea because I need just a smidgen of caffeine, and I had 2 big old cups of chai tea this morning, today. Well, Bobby Gary, you can change that. Now, if you would like to have your very own handsome mug, then scroll on down to the description of the video, click see more, and scroll down until you see the link labeled mug and give that a good old click. Then you can buy a handsome mug of your very own. Alright, so, oh boy, has it ever just been, oh goodness golly gosh. First things first. First thing we got to talk about is the Unaboomer, of course. Yes, the Unaboomer. This this crazy hello Pinder. So we have this apparently insane Florida man who is some kind of Seminole. Yeah, Seminole supremacist. A big fan of the never conquered Seminole tribe, who thinks shall rise up and rule the country. Hello, what do you believe? I'm glad you came. Who somehow managed to, according to the mainstream media, drive up and down the eastern seaboard and hand deliver and hand off to couriers several suspicious packages that contained within them facsimiles of frightening Hollywood stereotypes of explosive devices, which in no way could have possibly at all exploded due to the fact that they were inert and contained no explosives. Oh, and also weren't wired to anything that could trigger an explosion. And he managed to do this with all of his passenger windows plastered with decals. And only his windows of his white van. Like, granted, Florida man. Granted, every group has its wackadoos. Granted, every group has its insane people. Hello to you, Bear Gribble. I'm glad you came. Granted, every group has all this, but the idea that this guy could have driven 5 feet in Florida with his passenger windows absolutely covered in decals and not get pulled over and his vehicle impounded as a safety risk just beggars belief. I am just absolutely, completely boggled that this guy could have done it. And if he actually did, like, big if, but still possible, guys. I'm not saying for sure, false flag on the Unaboomer, alright? That's okay, Yukon, you can put me on in the background and listen to me in my wonderful radio voice. Not quite as good as a certain Jew, but it's still pretty good. Hello, Space Battleship. Welcome. Granted, even if the Unaboomer is not a false flag, if I grant that, I will be amazed with this guy. Like, amazed. My mind would be absolutely blown. I want to know how this guy managed to avoid every single cop on the eastern seaboard in order to make his delivery rounds with his highly illegal van. Highly illegal van. Like, granted, Florida man. Like, and I've got a great Florida man story for tonight as well, for the end of the show, and another treat for you guys at the end. So stick around. Ah, boy. So that I was like, I'm still just a little bit. Oh yeah, and also we also have to mention the facts that on all of his social media he was only following lefties. He said himself that he didn't intend to hurt anybody, so this was not attempted mass murder. It was certainly terrorism of a sort in that he attempted to terrorize people with these props. but it's like he's only following lefties. And up until 2016, after the election, he was an avowed Democrat, and he somehow had managed to register as a Republican, despite the fact he's a felon. So yeah, a bit strange. Big Rick and Bear, I would like for you to please, after the show, uh, have a text chat with me over Hangouts. That would be good, because I intend to have Big Rig and Bear on this Saturday for the interview show. Right. Just before we get into anything, I would like to hype up this, because Big Rig and Bear, he's got a great idea. He says he's going to be traveling the country, meeting bears face to face, and his first one is going to be Eric Nimmer, which will be sometime around New Year's. And so everyone get hyped for that interview. It's going to be a really fun time, just like all of the interviews have been a really fun time. I'm having a fantastic time with these, and I'm really glad. Ooh. So, good news break there. On to the next thing. On to the next thing, because, like, the past 4 days have been so crazy. I'm gesticulating even more than usual, guys. Even more than usual. But the past 4 days, after that, right? I think I've talked the the Walking Dead heroically fleeing poverty and crime in their own home country. I've talked that one to death already, but I think that one's backfired, and everyone's going to build the wall even more at this point. Ah, wonderful. So that backfired, and now we've got the Unaboomer, who's probably going to backfire. But the next thing that's just got so much media spin, just so much media spin that the spin is giving me motion sickness. It's turning my stomach. It's spinning my stomach. I'm just about sick. I'm just about sick from the spin on this story. And I guess you probably can guess the story I'm getting into next, which is, of course, the Tree of Life Synagogue. The Tree of Life Synagogue Massacre. So you've got a National Socialist, a racist collectivist, never Trumper, who has always hated Trump's guts and calls him a tool of Israel and says he's being controlled by the Jews. By the way, Pinder, you gotta hook me up with this mind control stuff, because it's apparently really potent. Alright, so he hates Donald Trump for being married to a Jew and having a Jewish daughter, right? Who married a Jewish man. He hates him for all this Jewy connectedness osity. And he's also a National Socialist, which puts him clearly on the left of center, because, hey, guess what? Socialism, not exactly right-wing politics. Not exactly. Ah, boy, I should have made chamomile tea. I'm getting so fired up over this story. Yeah, Jewelry. Thank you very much, and welcome, Trevor Warner. Side note, does anyone think that calling it the Tree of Life Synagogue is slightly hubristic? I don't know. Just like an errant thought, not really connected to anything. Hello, Patriot Bear 1776. But all of this very, very clear and obvious anti-Trump, anti-right wing, very, very left wing, plus racism, despite all of that, it's Trump's fault. I mean, you've got CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, BuzzFeed, Vox, constantly telling us what a problem Israel is internationally, how they're imperialistic, how they're an apartheid state, how they're how they're constantly meddling in other nations' affairs. Well, Andrew, I thought more about Genesis and the two trees, which were yeah, but it's not really, it's not important. It's really not important, and just kind of a weird thought I had. Oh, Robot Bear, did I say hello to you? I thought I did. Why do all of the most dangerous... You know what, Robot Bear? I will tell you, your question is just a little bit incorrectly framed, but I will tell you why the most dangerous and violent crazies turn out to be socialists. I'll tell you, actually, that's a very good question to raise. Oh, no. See, Andrew, I'll tell you why I think it's just a little bit weird. See, after Adam and Eve were thrown out of the Garden of Eden because they ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Ooh, that's a mouthful, right? God put an archangel at the gate of Eden to guard the path toward that led to the tree of life. So, I mean, that's just why I think that calling a synagogue or a church or anything that has something to do with the tree of life, the Judeo-Christian kind of, that's why I think calling something tree of life is just a little bit weird, a little bit strange to me. That's all. It's not a big deal. You're right, and Robot Bear, that's actually where I was going with this. Socialism is looting wrapped up in a facade of care for the poor, a convenient way for thieves to mask their hatred of the successful, of the wealthy, of the rich, with compassion and care for the poor. It puts a pretty face, a pretty face on the thug who will knife you in the back to steal your stuff. And that's why socialism. Everything about socialism is predicated on taking things away from people who created and earned it and giving it to people who didn't. The entire thing is predicated on theft. That's why socialists tend to turn out the most violent, the most deadly, the most insane wackadoos that our society has to offer. I mean, there are plenty of wackadoos who are completely That's a very good point about Lucifer, Andrew Bergen. He is a fallen angel, but he appears beautiful. In fact, one of his names is Beautiful One. And Cowboy Bear, you were correct. Taxation is theft. Taxation is theft. Now, I think that a system that provides services that you can opt into receiving and paying for would be preferable to the one that we have now, which would be much more moral. But It's not exactly redistributionist when it's being used to pay for services such as an army or borders or fire departments. Well, actually, fire departments out here in most rural areas are opt-in as well. So never mind that. Oh boy. So that's just that is just something that I'm very, very upset about. I am very upset about this whole spin. Like, why? Why on earth? Like, okay, so say there's like a sports guy, right? And he's a really good sport. Hi, Boulder Bear. So the sport is a really good sports baller. The stickball, baseball. A really good baseballer guy. Hello, the last movement. I'm glad you're here. Say there's like a really good baseballer guy, and he always hits like home runs. But say that there's a baseball fan, a baseball fanatic kind of guy in the crowd who just hates this guy's guts. He goes on to Twitter every day to tell everyone how this baseballer is cheating. He's doing steroids and he kicks puppies when no one's looking, and he spits on the fans, and he's just a terrible baseball guy, right? And then say that the baseball guy he likes to go on Twitter and say, the people who hate me, they're just sad that I'm not on their team, right? They're just sad they're not on, I'm not on their team, and they're mad, and they're just haters, and well, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest baseball guy there is. When I play the game, everyone loves it, and he's just always talking big, and he's talking down at the other at the people who have a problem with him. But then say that the fan guy, right? Hello, Yukon Bear. I hope you were listening. Say that the fan guy, he shoots. He shoots a whole bunch of people of who are fans of the baseball guy, or who he thinks are fans of the baseball guy. Is it the fault of the baseball guy just because he was being mean to people who hate him? No. No, and it's the same thing with Trump. It's the same exact thing. Like, if someone was wackadoo enough to murder people over sports ballers, right, that they don't like, then it's not the sports baller's fault. Okay? And so if a politician, right? If there's a politician and somebody who hates that politician murders people because they hate that politician so much that they're willing to murder people, it is not the politician's fault. Hello, Clay. It's not the politician's fault. Like, at all. You know whose fault it is? The murdering guy's fault. It's the murdering guy's fault, obviously. This should. You shouldn't be blaming. You shouldn't be blaming anybody but the murdering guy for this, right? Anybody but him. He's the evil one. He's the bad one. He's the one who made the choice to do something incredibly awful. And he did it partly because he perceived the politician that he doesn't like to be involved with the synagogue. He perceived, because he's a National Socialist and a Jew hater, he perceived these Jews to be involved with Donald Trump, whose guts he hates. Yeah, you know what, Boulder Bear? Like, yeah, you made your choices. Yeah, you were on probation. But you were on and yeah, drunk driving is really, really bad, and you shouldn't have done it. But, you know, you were on probation because you got stabbed. It's like, I don't like what they did to you, is all. I just don't like it. I think that you should have gotten the normal traffic school and probation. I think that's what you should have gotten for the choice that you made. Because you didn't deserve to have been on probation in the first place. It was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, yeah, check out Boulder's channel, man. Check it out. It's frightening. Ugh. And that's a very good point, Big Rig and Bear. Very good point. You know who else you can't blame for crimes? People who make the tools that bad people pick up. Like, if someone vandalizes cars with a hammer, do you blame Stanley because they made the hammer he used? No, that's ridiculous. So why on earth do people get angry with Springfield because someone murdered a bunch of people with one of their tools? Someone picked up one of their tools and misused it. One of their tools that's meant to defend yourself with, or to defend your rights with, but they go out and murder people with it. Right? Why is it Springfield's fault? Or Colt's fault? Or Bushmaster's fault? Why is it any of their fault? It's not. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. I can't... Like... Yeah, otherwise, you could just go around... Do you have any idea how many accidents and crimes are committed with power tools, with hand drills? Like, more people are menaced with a hand drill than with any other thing, because, you know, in the dark it kind of looks vaguely gun-like. And if it so happens that someone realizes that you're not holding a gun, then a drill with a hefty bit in it can still be menacing on its own. Boulder, I think they would have to sue their ancestors for that. Like, they might try and sue the makers of alcohol. I don't know. Victorinox. They make the Swiss Army knives. That's a cutlery manufacturer. There's also, yeah, and they also do make kitchen cutlery, by the way. Very good knives. J.A. Hinkelsen. It's German. I can't pronounce it. Anyway, Ah, blaming the object. Immediately blaming the object. It's also Cutco. Cutco is another good one. Cook's Club knives. The Pampered Chef. They make knives. Apparently, Chicago Cutlery. There you go. The best answers. See, Robot Bear. It's the left. The left. It's driving me just a little bit insane at the moment, Robot Bear. Just a little bit because you say that the whole point is to say that people aren't responsible for their actions, and if they're responsible for themselves, then you're not responsible for their health, their abortions, blah blah blah. But the problem is they also want people to be responsible for everything. I mean, look, the murdering guy isn't responsible. Right? The murdering guy isn't responsible for going into a synagogue and massacring a whole bunch of old people, right? But Donald Trump is 100% responsible for that. I mean, how do we square that circle? How? Somebody please tell me how someone who has absolutely zero, he is as connected to this incident as I am to landing on the moon. Alright? Tomorrow. Notice I say landing on the moon tomorrow because there's no one even trying to land on the moon tomorrow. How it's like Trump is as connected to the murdering guy as I am to that. How is Trump responsible? How? How on earth is the President of the United States responsible for the lucid choices of a murderous wackadoo? How? Well, you're right about that, Space Battleship. The left doesn't really comprehend what's going on any better than they comprehend NPC memes. That is, I think, absolutely correct. Guys, no large phallus shaming. I mean, Steve Bender. If you start shaming Boulder for having a large phallus, Steve will start feeling inadequate. It's just, like, come on, think about the ramifications to other people. I mean, you might want to just make fun of Boulder, but it'll make Steve feel inadequate if you do that. So just don't. But anyone, come on, anyone, please help me out here. Help me out, guys. It's like, really, how on earth? How can you connect? How? It's like, how? Like, I'm very sorry. I seem to be really, really stuck on this because I'm completely boggled. I am flabbergasted. I am confuddled and confused and discombobulated in every which way. Every which way. Well, you're obviously rich. It's the shekels. Every which way. My brain does not comprehend this concept of how you can assign total responsibility of an event, of the choices, of a wackadoo, how you can assign 100% of that responsibility to someone who is as connected to that person as I am to a dodo bird. How? I don't understand it. I can't. This is beyond my faculty. to. I am wrestling with this idea. If I could understand it, maybe I could help the left figure out why what they're saying is so wrong. It is so incorrect that it should turn the stomach of anyone who dares utter it. Like, it is morally incorrect, it is factually incorrect, it is philosophically incorrect, it is incorrect on every conceivable level that you could possibly analyze this situation from, and yet they persist. Why and how? Why and how? I am by no means an unintelligent man. I am by no means a dullard, an ignoramus. Just by no means am I that. But I recognize that this constant shifting of blame to objects and political enemies is something that it is beyond my capacity to understand. Maybe it is a lack of compassion. Maybe it is a lack of empathy. Maybe it really is my fault that I can't understand it. And so, if the fault is mine, could somebody, please, in the chat, in the comments, please, for the love of sanity and everything holy and good on this planet, please help me understand. Because if it is what I think it is, like, if this is not an honest... Here, let me just bring it in real close. If this is not an honest belief that lefties hold, if this is tactical, strategic, calculated, which honestly I believe it to be, maybe uncharitably, if it is, then it is among the absolute most evil concepts to have ever wriggled its way up from the darkest recesses of the human mind. If it is that, if it is on purpose, if they know they're lying, then it is the blackest and most twisted thing that I have had the displeasure of experiencing in my short and wonderful life. Oh. And I'm sorry, I'm not really talking to you guys as much. I'm very, very sorry. You guys are being very cheerful. You guys are being excellent and attentive. And really, you are my favorite chat on all of YouTube. Even though there's not even 100 of you. You really are my favorite chat, and I appreciate you so very much. But I just had to go on that rant. I had to. It was not possible for me to do anything other than that. And now, we'll take another break from the awful, from the horrible, from the evil, and have just a little bit of strange good news. Just a little bit strange. I mean, as you know, I am permanently banned off of Twitter for being mean to pedophiles and communists. Because apparently those are the people you are just not allowed to be mean to, and I wasn't even all that mean to Muslims, so it wasn't that. I mean, I don't think I was being awfully mean to, like, I could have been insensitive to Muslims, you know. I am not all that keen on their doctrines, but, you know, I wasn't being mean on purpose to Muslims. I was being mean on purpose to the pedophiles and the communists, and apparently that's just too much for a good old Jack to handle. But there's the strangest thing. That some pals have let me know that somebody has started an account with the bear, with my bear face, and apparently the guy's name is not Field, maybe a relative, I don't know. And he's a fan. He's been tweeting out my memes. And has been like, it is definitely not me, guys. That is a conspiracy theory and fake news. It's definitely not me. But it's like I went and I took a peek, and it seems to be like a pretty good account. So what I would like you guys to do is go right on over there and keep an eye out, just in case it's actually like a soy infiltrator. So I would be just a little bit suspicious of this guy. Just a little bit. I've included a link to that Twitter page in the description to make it really easy. And it's about time. It's about time. It's definitely not me, the last Moomin. I am a good boy. I would never circumvent my ban. I don't know what you're talking about. So, alright. We've got just, I'm a good boy. I would never do that. Oh, look, I mean, there are lots of people who've bought my mug. It's a very good mug. Who wouldn't advertise it? Like, who wouldn't? I'll tell you who wouldn't. A shifty Jew, and that's just about it. But we'll continue. We will continue on with the good news vibes for our Florida man story. Because it is now time for Florida Man. Florida Man's $150K prosthetic arm was recovered one single day after it was stolen. A South Florida man's $150,000 prosthetic arm was stolen from his truck Sunday, but 2 off-duty police officers found it within a day, according to the Sun Sentinel. Florida man was born with 2 fingers on his left hand, and his left arm is shorter than his right one. He was also diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 19. The newspaper reported. A video of Florida man getting his new prosthetic last year is on social media. Oh, that's interesting. Shall we watch it, dudes? No, I don't think we shall. I think I will just copy. No, don't copy strike me. There's a copy link location. There we go. I will copy that and share it later. I will send it to my fan. He's been DMing me, who is not me. His fan page on the Twitter. It's definitely not me. Florida Man is a motivational speaker as well. Sunday, he was preparing to create a video at his home in Coconut Creek for a motivational speech when he noticed his arm was missing from his truck. He called his girlfriend in Boynton Beach, oh my gosh, Florida, your names, to see if he had left it there. The Sun Sentinel reported it was not there. When she said no, I lost it, Florida Man told the newspaper, limitations are self-imposed, is my whole message. What sucks is someone else was trying to impose their own limits on me. 2 off-duty Boynton Beach, oh my goodness, Florida, your names. Boynton Beach police officers found the arm in some bushes. The pinky finger was broken, but the arm still functioned, Florida Man told the Sun Sentinel. Nothing else was stolen from Florida Man's truck, and investigators are still looking for the thief. Florida Man's custom-fit black carbon fiber arm was created by Touch Bionics. He did not have insurance, so he would have not been able to afford a replacement, the newspaper reported. When you have a Lamborghini for an arm, it's a little expensive, Florida Man said, noting that finding the prosthetic was the best case scenario. And now, as we can see, a stark difference from last week when Florida Man was doing absolutely crazy, criminally insane things to he has become a motivational speaker and a hero to the community and quite the pillar. Excellent turnabout, Florida Man. I hope to not see you in the news being insane and evil tomorrow. But it is Florida, as we all know. And as I promised, I do have a quite different treat for you guys. One of the bears. And, a personal friend of mine. Has, actually, I'm gonna hold off on that for just a little bit. Have a great night, Patriot Bear. I'm gonna hold off. I make sure you come back for the treat. Now, Honky Bear is one of the bears who I happen to like personally, and he's been great on Hangouts, and he's really fun and has a great sense of humor. And I would like to use this fact as just a little bit of a jumping off point to where I was talking with Big Drum Bear last week. After our interview, another great dude. I think I can call him my friend at this point, which feels quite nice. Should have gone with chamomile. Really should have. And he said it's really great to be a bear supporting bears. And that's one of his things. If you catch his morning show, and I highly recommend that you do. He didn't stream today, but hey, tomorrow's another day. One thing that you will hear quite often saying it's very important for bears to support bears. And you know what? I would like to do that just a tiny bit more. Just a little bit more. I mean, the weekly interview is great. But the simple fact is it's not always going to be a bear. Sometimes it's going to be someone who's not in this group, this group I'm in. Someone who's just maybe a fan of me. And that would be great as well. It'd be great. So, as a bear, supporting bears, I think it would be. I thought it would be just a great treat to give you guys a little bit of a musical treat. Do I cover up? No, I don't. That's excellent.
I see the smoke coming off the hills every morning when I rise. I see the sunrise and it brings a tear to the corner of my eyes. When I think of you, how long will this last? When will it end, this loneliness? My only friend, sadness comes the darkness, goes it comes again, it brings me down. When will it end? When will it end? I see our children every morning when I rise. I see you staring back at me from their eyes, and I think of you. How long will this last? When will it end, this loneliness, my only friend? The sadness comes, the darkness goes, it comes again, it brings me down. When will it end? When will it end? Think about my future, think about our used to be, tearing at each other, pulling apart something deep inside of me. And I just miss you. How long will this last? When will it end, this loneliness, my only friend? The sadness comes, the darkness goes, it comes again, it brings me down. When will it end? When will it end? Love you, Bears.
Okay, so that was absolutely wonderful, guys. I don't know if you enjoyed that as much as I did. I mean, you saw me just kind of dancing around to that in my chair like some kind of giddy child, but I thought that that was absolutely beautiful. And so, hello, Duncan Torg. I'm glad that you're watching on Twitch. Hey, look at that. Look at that, guys. I thought that was... He has just a great singing voice, and he makes the guitar sing. And so, what I would like you to do is, after the stream, or right now, if you'd rather, go down in the link in the description to the song. It says outro song. I thought I would let it play into the outro, but I finished my rant just a bit earlier than I planned on. Just a bit earlier, so I decided just to show it to you guys. Go ahead, click on that link, and let it play through for yourself. Subscribe to Honky Bear. Hit the like button on his thing. And look forward to more, and you can actually go in and play his play his other songs, which are also quite good. So I recommend that you do that as soon as you can, and you won't regret it. You really won't, because it's really excellent stuff. It really is. And I can wholeheartedly recommend that channel and that music to you because of its beauty. And I think that 5 minutes before the hour's up is just fine. And so what I would like to say is, if you enjoyed the stream, if you enjoyed me spiraling a bit earlier, and if you enjoyed the funny little fact of how there's someone who is definitely and absolutely and in no possible way me on Twitter right now running a fan account for me, please hit the like button. And if you would like to see more of me and all this, whatever it is, you can go ahead and subscribe. And if you would like that subscription to mean anything at all, then you can hit the bell. If you would like to support the show, then you could go to paypal.me/fieldtalk to sow the field. Or you can get for yourself your very own handsome mug at the link labeled mug in the description. And, as always, never forget. Oh, wait. No. That's not right. That's not the way I do it, is it? That's not the way. The way I do it is, have a great evening. Have a great night, guys. Have a great night and listen to Honky Bear some more. And never forget that socialism always ends in starvation and genocide.